Did you hear about the election? Yes, the election. Did you hear what happened? It's in this week's Parsha. The great election in this week's Parsha. Do you know what the Parsha says about the election? I'm going to tell you. Avram Avinu is introduced in Parshas Lech Lecha. There were a lot of nice things we could have said about him. There were a lot of things we could have read on his resume. It could have said, you know who Avram is? Avram Avinu discovered Hashem at 3 years old. He had tens of thousands of followers. Avram Avinu broke the idols of his father, was the greatest Baal Chesed in history, was the greatest Mekarev Rechoikim. Avraham was a tzaddik. Avraham didn't even need Hashem's support. He walked before Hashem. And what does it say about Avraham? It says nothing. Vayomer Hashem el Avram. Who's Avram? Why is God talking to him? You know, at the end of Parshas Nach, there's a whole long list of names of the descendants of Shem. Terach, Nachar, Haran, and nothing is said about anyone, or even about Avram, that would distinguish him among all the list of names. We don't even know that he's a good guy. We don't even know that he's righteous. We don't know anything nice about him. All we know is, Vayomer Hashem el Avram. Why? Why is God talking to him? By Noach, we have a whole laundry list. He's Matzachin Beinei Hashem. He's a tzaddik. He's a tamim. He walks with God. Noach gets a whole resume, and Avram not one nice word. What's going on? Says the Maharal in his commentary to Pirkei Avos on the Mishnah, Kol ava shitluya b'davar, any love that is dependent on something, on an outside factor, but la oisai davar, but la ava. If that matter ceases, the love ceases. However, kol ava she'ena tluya b'davar, any love which is inherent, which is not dependent, soifei l'skaim la'olam, will last forever. Says Maharal of Prague, when God spoke to Noach, God was just giving Noach a benefit. Noach's descendants, they don't have a free pass. God selected Noach because of his righteousness, and his descendants, if they are righteous, God will protect them. If they're not, then they won't get any freebies. However, when God spoke to Avram Avinu, he wasn't just speaking to Avram. This was the election of the entirety of the Jewish people. God was electing the Jewish people as his beloved, chosen nation forever and ever. Not because of anything. If it would say that God spoke to Avram because Avram was a Baal Chesed, or a Makarev Rechoikim, or the Rosh Hamaminim, then I would have thought that the reason why God chose Abraham is because of Abraham's great midos tovos and his great masim tovim. And then if in 2024 we don't follow in the path of Abraham, then we are not deserving of God's love. After all, if the Torah would have said that God spoke to Abraham because of, and this is not just God speaking to Abraham, this is the election of the Jewish people, then I would have thought that we are elected because of. And if that reason no longer exists, we are no longer elected as the beloved children of Hashem. So therefore, at this pivotal moment in history, when God elected the Jewish people, God made it clear, you know why you're elected? It's not because you won the Electoral College. It's not because you won the popular vote. It's not because you're a tzaddik. It's not because you're a Baal Chesed. I elect the Jewish people as a reality of existence. We are just the beloved children of Hashem. You want to ask, well, why do you love your child? Because your child is your child. He's a piece of you. The soul of the Jewish people is literally a piece of the divine. And therefore, says Maharal, the opening pasuk of Lech Lecha, the pasuk of the election of the Jewish people, is the greatest message of hope for the Jewish people. Because it doesn't say God elected us because of anything. He just did. Vayomer Hashem el Avram. I elect Klal Yisrael. Why? because I said so. It's a reality of life. And if it's a reality of life and it's not dependent on something, it's not only for 4 years and it doesn't matter what we do. Of course it matters. There is reward and punishment. But it will never jeopardize the election of the Jewish people. So, as we celebrate a great victory for Klal Yisrael, there's an even greater victory in the opening pasuk of Parshas Lech Lecha, and that is the election and the eternal election of the Jewish people, not only for 4 more years, but Netzach Yisrael Lo Yishaker. That's the Maharal of Prague on Pirkei Avos, explaining the opening pasuk of Parshas Lech Lecha. Have a great day, everyone. Hope everyone could join us. At 8:30, we're going to be speaking about what is a greater avenue of recognizing Hashem, seeing Hashem in nature or learning Torah. Have a great day, everyone. Kol Tov.